Welcome to another episode of the Popko Project podcast. Today I'm joined by Zach from the band Fox Lake. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. And you're from Denver, right?
We are from Denver. Yes.
Nice. I don't think I've interviewed a band from Denver yet.
There's not a lot, it seems like.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe there's not a lot of action out there.
Not quite. We Colorado Springs is like hour and a half south of Denver. Quite a few bands from there, but Denver itself is like, I don't know, 10 years ago we had a pretty cool scene and it seems like it just kind of died out. So there's
Yeah.
not a lot of bands.
You got to represent.
Exactly.
It's all up to you.
I know. Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah.
But you guys just released a new album on August 1st titled New World Heat. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. I just wanted to kind of get a little a background about the band itself. So in a nutshell, I mean, talk about, Fox Lake.
So we've been, let's see, we've known each other forever. I think we kind of got serious about this project in 2017. We all kind of grew up in the hardcore scene here in Denver. And, our music is obviously heavily influenced in that, but we just kind of wanted to try something new and kind of a different take on it. And we all, again, like love the 90s kind of hip hop aesthetic. So new metal thing. So we kind of decided to write down that road. And yeah, we've been together playing shows. This is technically our first full length like LP. We did have an album, a shorter album in Silence of Violence in 2020. So during COVID, and it kind of helped kickstart a lot for us. So yeah, but this is technically, we're considering our first real full length album.
COVID did a lot of that for bands. A lot of bands had just time to really focus or refocus and just kind of get shit together.
Exactly. Yeah, we felt kind of fortunate. We knew a lot of bands that didn't make it through COVID too. So we kind of got lucky and got picked up on a label, and we found a manager during COVID, and yeah, kind of gained some traction. So right when shows came back, like late 22 or maybe early 2021, we were able to play shows almost immediately. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So as far as this new record goes, New World Heat, what does it represent for you as a band creatively and personally?
So yeah, I mean, this was about 2 years in the making. We really just wanted to create an album that was more of a feeling than anything. So we, before we really wrote any songs, we had demos and stuff, but we were kind of discussing like, what is this album kind of, what should it feel like? And like Pure Adrenaline was one that we like, catchphrases we threw out there, which ended up, we named one of our songs Pure Adrenaline, and just like fast and hot. And so it was kind of fun to write backwards like that. We've never really done that. And so, we'd write demos and stuff and we'd be like, I don't know if this is pure heat. Like, I don't know if this is hot enough. So we'd like scrap it and start over. So really, it's a collection of songs that we just thought were fun and just fast and just like kind of ass beaters.
Yeah. You guys do a great job of blending that hardcore, new metal, hip hop, and metalcore.
Thank you.
Yeah, what drives that? Is it the love of the 90s, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, I mean, that obviously is a big part of it. We feel nostalgic towards the 90s. We're all 90s kids, early 90s kids. So we kind of wanted to bring that back, especially like, the biggest single from this album so far has been Freestyle. And that is very heavily influenced. Like the music video is all like PS1 graphics type of like early Gorillaz, kind of vibes and stuff. Jet Set Radio Future, if you remember that game, like just like kind of nostalgic 90s vibes. So that's always been a big part of the band, but we kind of really leaned into it with this record, and it's like just been so much fun to be able to explore like what that really means.
And can you break down the title New World Heat? Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, like I said, like we before we even wrote a lot of these songs, we were just like, we trying to figure out like, what is this album going to sound like? And I mentioned like, hot, just heat. And Nathan had a lyric already, along the lines of like baptized by flame in the new world heat. And it just kind of stuck. So it's basically just like the whole conceptually, the album is, you're constrained by your own fears and you just got to kind of tear down that world. And, you live in the world that you create, your new world. So,
That kind of goes to my next question. You said the album, or I read that the album is about burning things down to restart. What were
yeah.
some things that either personally or creatively that needed to be burned down?
I mean, really just we've almost felt like we were in um, kind of like we were writing songs almost that well, obviously like we like all the music that we've written, but it was like um, we've never been able to like fully explore just stuff that we thought was fun just because we thought maybe people wouldn't like it or we thought the label wouldn't like it. So we really just kind of let loose on this album and we were like, fuck if people don't like it, and if the label doesn't love it, like that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. So like, let's just write what we think is fucking awesome and then see what happens. And, that kind of turned into the entire album. So
And what do you think happened so far? I mean,
the response has been awesome. I mean, it's been out for like 5 days or something like that, and just an overwhelming amount so far of support. So it's been really cool. I'm excited, and I'm really happy that people so far seem to kind of be into it.
yeah, I love the whole mix of those genres. I really do.
Yeah, thank you. So do we. And it can be tough. Like there's a lot of, not to call anybody out, but I mean, there's bands that try to do similar things, and it's such a fine line between, especially with like, you have rapping in your vocals and stuff. There's a fine line of cringy almost, and trying to like find the balance of like incorporating those 90s elements, but not in like a cornball way can be difficult. So hopefully it didn't come off that way.
I didn't think so. For what my opinion matters. You've got some guest vocals for members of Bugshot, Silent Planet, who was actually in Scranton back in May, Avoid, and Eyes of Salt.
Yeah.
How did those kind of come about, and what did they each bring to the record?
Yeah, we had like a dream list, I guess, before um we got anybody on the album. And we kind of whittled it down, and just once the songs, we really wanted to flesh out these songs before we figured out who was going to be on what track. um Mugshot, we've just been friends for a very long time. Their drummer actually is our producer and kind of like ghost member of Fox Lake. So that was an easy kind of connection there that we thought was great. And they're just the best guys. So like that was fun. And Silent Planet, Garrett, the vocalist Garrett, has been he's kind of been on to us for a while. So we didn't think, I mean, they're pretty big, so we didn't know if he'd be interested in working with Fox Lake, but we sent it to him and he immediately was excited. And like sent us a demo back like so fast. So that was really cool. And then Avoid, it's kind of same thing. Like we never played together, but we've met a few times. Really solid dudes. They're kind of kind of doing similar things that to Fox Lake, is doing. So his Benny's vocals are just like so fun and energetic that we thought that he'd be a perfect fit for freestyle. And then Eyes of Salt is actually a Denver local band that the vocalist Gary has been, he's done a lot for the Denver hardcore scene. So he's just been in numerous bands, for kind of like 15 years or something. So we really wanted to pay kind of a tribute to Denver and the hardcore scene here. So he was kind of our go-to guy for that song.
That's cool. Your lyrics, they balance heavy social commentary with personal storytelling. How do you toe that line between political and personal?
It can be tough, I think, too. Especially I think like we have songs that I think people kind of take their own message from, especially in the past of, uh, like it can mean something to one person, can mean something totally else to the next. And I think on this album, we kind of really were like very much like, just so it's clear, we think that the government is not your friend and is your enemy, and they're not there to help you anymore. And hopefully we kind of like drew that line in the sand of like, this is kind of like what Fox Lake thinks, so it's not so gray, it's very black and white.
Music has the power to have that platform to discuss those types of things. Like, how important is it for you to use your platform to kind of touch on those topics?
I mean, I think it's extremely important. Like if we are lucky enough to have the chance to be able to speak about, some of the stuff that's going on today, and like if anybody's going to listen and take it seriously, I think that's huge. I don't, sometimes I don't think people capitalize on that, and it's can be tough because I think a lot of bands and a lot of people in general just to kind of do, preach, and we don't want to like overly preach, and we're certainly not trying to get like overly political on anything, but we do think that there are some things that need to be talked about still, even if people are talking about them, they still need to be addressed and brought up. And we're happy to kind of vocalize that.
In the climate that we're in, I'm going to ask this question because recently it happened in Wilkes-Barre, which is like 20 minutes from where I'm from. Um, do you think that has hurt you in any way, being like having that political content in your message?
I mean, I guess it's hard to say. We haven't seen any, I guess, backlash. Like we're pretty, our the Silence and Violence, which came out in 2020, featured like, a broken piggy bank with a cop hat and like a cop car on fire. So it seemed very much like what our stance was on, police and police brutality and, defunding the police and all that stuff. But we still have a lot of police officers that like our music and stuff, and that's totally fine. Um, I don't think we've seen, like I said, like any backlash, but it's, if people are turned off by that and don't want to listen to us for that reason, then, I think that's totally fine. And that's, power to them.
That's exactly right. Because so in Wilkes-Barre, it happened a week or two ago. There's like a free concert series. It's on the river. It's really nice. Um, but they had an artist by the name of Low Cut Connie, and they decided that they wanted to cancel his performance, and just solely based on well, they said that they didn't want like him to be spewing propaganda. And
Wow.
he, yeah, it was kind of the language they use is wild. I mean, you're in the business, so it's like shows get canceled for a variety of different things, and the way that they handled it was just so wild. And he's not like a huge like political based
Yeah.
musician. It's he released a song maybe last month, I guess it was, maybe even before that, but I forget what it was called even. But it wasn't like anything crazy. But there's a huge issue here locally. Um,
Yeah, I bet.
yeah, it was just like now you're telling us like what art we can and can't listen to,
Yeah, that's a huge red flag.
right? Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's like it just got so messy with he said, she said, and there's
Yeah.
things that went out that like, oh, it got canceled for this reason. And I feel like government officials almost forget that the internet exists.
It seems like that. Yeah.
Right? It's like
Yeah.
they say one thing and it's like a month ago you just said this. Like
Yeah.
do you forget that these like uh,
Totally.
it's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Man, you want to talk about backlash? I'm sure, like Instagram posts about that. I'm sure the comments were just going crazy.
Oh, well, so they did it. So they quietly, I'll say quietly canceled this artist. They made a big announcement. It was a big to do. He's a good artist, great music. And so they do three shows. Two of them are like tribute bands, like AC/DC tribute bands, whatever.
Yeah.
It even gets worse. And then the last show they do is like an original artist. And where's I going with this? Oh, they quietly. So they had all these posters made. They made the announcement. This is the lineup for the shows, and then one day it just his name was removed and a new band was on it, and
Oh
they
no.
didn't announce it. They just kind of did it quietly, and then the week of his would be performance, he went on social media again. I think people forget that the internet exists, and kind of just sends a video message to his fans about why this happened, and what gets even crazier is they ended up replacing him with a tribute band. And the guy, the lead singer of the band, ended up being a convicted pedophile.
Oh my God.
So it was like one thing, like a terrible event to like
Yeah.
even worse. And it was, uh, I mean, national news picked it up. It's been all over the place.
Jeez,
But
that's crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, when the government's telling you what media you can consume, that's
yeah. I don't know like if they think that um, like we're all just crazy people and we can't control ourselves. But I mean,
yeah,
like are people going to these shows just blind and like they're gonna get there and see this band perform and then riot? I don't think
right.
so.
Yeah, just absolutely lose our minds.
Yeah, just it's if you want to go see an artist, you have the freedom to go see them. And if you choose not to, you also have that freedom.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. And like
Yeah.
art is I mean it's art. It's like it's so how do you can't dictate like what someone can think of something like you said before,
Yeah.
and so many times a lyrics to me may mean something completely different to my friend Tom.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
it's just it's crazy how people are trying to put a stranglehold on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Agreed.
But
Yeah. Hopefully people recognize that and there was some backlash.
there was well in a 24-hour news cycle, it was a big thing for the week of, and then now it's
Yeah,
disappeared.
of course. Yeah.
And it's I don't want it to disappear, but
Right.
I think people need to be held accountable for their
Yeah,
actions too.
absolutely. Always.
But there's also a track inspired by Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not a Magic the Gathering fan, but like, how did that kind of make it into the Fox Lake universe?
Just, like full transparency, I'm the only member that's not a total nerd, just in general, but really about Magic the Gathering. Nathan is like the vocalist. He's just like he's really, really into it. So he he there like I think at one point online he was placed like in the top 50 in the world or something. I don't know. He's really into it. And so he tries to sneak in. There's like lots of little references kind of all over the music, but this time he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna like, go full out. So and we're like, okay, that's fine.
Something I never understood. There's a girl at work that is like big into Dungeons and Dragons and all that. I call it nerd stuff. I don't want to offend anybody, but like
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
I think it's cool. I just like I do not, yeah, I don't quite understand. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't quite understand it myself. So, but
But
yeah, everyone else in the band is way into that. So
but there's a segment of the world that's huge.
totally. Yeah. I mean, we've gotten like on TikTok, obviously Magic the Gathering is a big deal. So like there's TikTok accounts that are just dedicated to like metal music and magic that have, like picked up on the fact that we have these references in our songs and is kind of going like spreading like wildfire in that community, which is cool.
That's
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Again, I'm not knocking anybody. Like it's something I just
Yeah.
don't understand. Each
Yeah.
their own. Like again, any kind of art or things you want to do,
Totally. Yeah.
that's fine. But
Exactly. Full transparency. I think it's sweet. I just can't like I don't think I'm smart enough to understand like how to play. They've tried explaining it and I just like don't get it.
that's
I just
probably it
don't.
for me too. I'm just not smart enough to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Dude, dumb.
Are there any lyrics or a song on the album that like hits closest to home for you, and why?
I think that's a great question. I mean, so freestyle is probably my favorite track on the album, and it's for a lot of reasons, but we, like I said, we really leaned into like the '90s nostalgic PS1 kind of vibe. And I think that just like, I don't know, to me, that's just like it holds such a special place in my memory that not only like creating it like sonically and helping build and structure this song to have those influences from the 90s, but also like visually, like conceptually working this with the music video and like everything that went into that is was just like for me just like by far the most fun. And like I'd love to kind of do more of that going forward with Fox Lake. Like it just like unlocked something in me, and like hopefully think I think a lot of other people too. I think that's kind of why, that music video is doing really well, and I think that's part of it.
Gotcha. And you guys just wrapped a tour with Cane Hill. What did
Yeah,
you,
we got off I think in February.
and what did you take away from that experience?
I personally wasn't on that tour, but I know
Hmm.
that like it was a great tour. We did a track with Cane Hill, like our second EP or something. They're so awesome. They're very cool dudes. And I know like I went and hung out with them in Denver and stuff, and like I know those shows just crushed, and they're just like so awesome. So they were those shows apparently were like pretty amazing. So
Gotcha. And how were you not there?
I actually had a close friend passed away like
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
2 or 3 weeks before we were supposed to leave. And a lot of his like arrangement stuff kind of fell on me. So I was trying to
Yeah,
do that. And I thought about doing the tour, but was just like, I don't know if my mind would
yeah,
be there. So we had to
wow,
get it filling last minute, but that's life. Shit like that
yeah.
happens.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
It's never easy to kind of have to go through.
No, no, it's not. But the guys, they stepped up and they kind of helped cover my absence, and
Nice.
it was a good thing.
Good. So now that the new album's out, what's on the horizon for Fox Lake?
A lot, man. We have some tour dates coming up, but it's going to be our first headlining national tour. So in September to October, we'll be kind of playing all around the U.S. And then we got a couple festivals in there, two, maybe two that we haven't announced yet. And then we get back home for I think 3 weeks, and then we do a direct support tour with Greyhaven in the winter. And then yeah, we're cooking up some stuff for beginning of next year. Hopefully, get overseas somewhere, and yeah, just really finally feel like we finally released this album, and now it's just time to go play it for people.
And for someone who may have seen you before, well, what can people expect from your live sets?
I mean, hopefully, a lot of energy. Like we tell people all the time, like you, listening to us is one thing, and then seeing a show just I think kind of changes it a little bit. Like our music is so energetic that we try to come across that in our live shows too. So like again, it's just like pure energy and just a lot of fun.
I think that happens a lot with bands. Maybe someone's going to a show that they're not planning to see you or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they see you guys play, and it's like, oh wow, this is like
Oh, totally.
my new favorite band.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how many people have come up to us and said that they went for another band, and we kind of blew them out of the water. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's seeing us live. I think is good.
And it's said that the album is about the tension between who you are and who you want to be. Where do you think Fox Lake stands in that journey right now?
I think that we are kind of like like I mentioned previously, for the first time, I feel like we were kind of able to write and um, kind of like really conceptualize like what we feel like Fox Lake is. We've, you know, kind of figured it out in the previous years, but this was the first time that I feel like every single track on this, I'm like, this is exactly how I feel Fox Lake should sound. So I feel like right now, I feel like this new album, obviously, because it's so new, definitely represents like who, we are, especially right now. And I think moving forward, like, I don't even, it almost feels like, we've got this brand new, thing. We kind of, it's the same in a lot of aspects, but it's also different and unique in some of our earlier, than some of our earlier stuff. And I think it's like really exciting and almost just like not really a rebirth, but maybe something close to it.
Right. If there were any misconceptions about, who Fox Lake is, is there anything that's this album is that might put those to rest?
I think so. I mean, like the second to last song, Gut Check, really is just like very much not necessarily left or right leaning anyway, but it's very politically motivated in a way of like I mentioned earlier, like the government is not your friend, and you need to be looking out for yourself. And I think that maybe previously, we've got some songs that could kind of interpret it either way, and hopefully, kind of like with that track, you listen to it and you're like, okay, these guys, they're not with big big government.
Do you think um, that can ever change, or are we too far
I
gone?
you know I would love to think that it could change. Like I think in a perfect world, 100%. I don't see it happening maybe especially in, the United States government, like in maybe my lifetime, maybe if there's like radical change and it just everything with our, government is just it takes so long to implement anything and nothing can get done and none of these people have your interest in mind. It's all there. So it's right now the system is so broken that it's just hard to imagine anything but a broken system. So, you know, I would love to hope that one day it would be different, but I don't think that I'll ever see it.
Yeah, I always say this isn't the world my parents told me about growing up.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
It's disheartening. It's like you don't want to be negative. You don't want to be like, oh, this is terrible. But it's a struggle. I mean, everyone in the world is struggling.
Everywhere. Yeah. And it gets to the point that it needs to change, but it's like when is that going to come? Like what's going to happen before something, drastic happens?
I think when the money is not the most powerful thing in the world, it'll change. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the biggest problem, right? Like
It really is. It's it sucks.
it does. So, all you can do is just write songs about it and be pissed off and, do what you can.
Yeah, and everyone's like, just focus on your circle and make, your family and your close friends and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but it's when you go to the grocery store or you use your air conditioner or whatever it might be, and like all these things they cost so much money, and you see, obviously social media plays a big part into people fighting with each other
Yeah.
every day, and it's hard to turn that off, especially when you're in a band who's uses it as a platform to get your message out there and get your music out there and all those things. It's like, how do you cut all that off and just focus on
It's
your close circle?
impossible.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks.
I mean, yeah, unless you're Amish or like whatever, like it's just you can't not see. You're not always inundated with information like that. It's just impossible.
Yeah, I need to get rid of my phone. I
Yeah, man, that would be the dream.
yeah, but I don't know. But what doesn't suck is your new album, and I wish you the best of luck with it.
Thanks, man.
Where can people access that online and your socials?
We're everywhere. Instagram is Fox Lake CO, and I think TikTok is the same. We're Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that stuff.
Any plans to head out to the East Coast?
We we got a couple shows. We're playing the New England Hardcore and Metal Fest in like Boston area. I think late September. And then we'll be back New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area with Greyhaven in like November. So
Or about in Pennsylvania? Do you know?
I don't have the dates in front of me. I couldn't tell
Okay,
you, but I do know we're playing somewhere around there.
we got to get you to Scranton.
I love to play Scranton. Yeah, I think we played there a couple years ago.
Really?
I yeah, I remember going through and it was you remember it because of The Office.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it's been years.
Yeah, there's a great venue. It's called the Ritz Theater. It's owned by Josh Balls, who was at one point in Motionless in White.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he owns that venue. He's doing some pretty cool things there.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, we could be going through Scranton. I don't know if it's Scranton exactly, but yeah, close to at least.
Well, I'll follow you. I'll see what you're up to.
Sweet.
Well, Zach, thank you very much. I know you had an interview before this and you have one afterwards, so I don't want to keep you too long. So I'll let you go. I appreciate your time, and best of luck with the band and the new album and the tour.
Thanks, man. Really, really appreciate it.
All right, take care, man.
Bye.